but we're going to stretch. It's going to be great. So welcome to today's Saturday stretch. This is going to be the last Saturday that I have a free stretch class going on. If you've been liking them, make sure you follow my stories on Instagram, and there'll be some cool news coming in the next couple of days. But for today's class, all you're going to need is a mat, yourself, and maybe some yoga blocks. And if you have a strap, grab a strap just to have it handy. And I did a little poll on my Instagram stories earlier, so y'all voted for some splitty things for your hips. So we're going to be working on that today for the most part. So if you're ready to get started, just make sure you have some space. Just going to move my stuff out of the way. And we're going to begin from a standing position, feet wider than our hips, toes forward, lengthen the tailbone, lift the spine, pull the belly button in, big inhale, all the way up. And big exhale, take it down, nice plie, squat, inhale, squeeze and stand. Exhale, take it down low. Now we want to keep the shoulders stacked over the center of your hips right now. So what I don't want to see is, we don't want to be leaning over, right? So down and up, squeeze and stand. It's a good time to check in with your body. Ooh, we probably worked it really hard this week. Maybe you checked into a few of my other classes this week. If so, I hope you've been having fun. Good, one more. Excellent. Now come all the way up. We're going to go from side bend, lift tall to side bend. Inhale and exhale. Good. So we want to lengthen through the spine in the center so we can find the deepest lengthening down the side of our body. If you want to move a little bit slower than me, you can. Inhale, exhale. Good. And one more time each side. And here we go. Excellent. Now take the arms out to the side, roll the shoulders down and back, soften the knees. I want you to reach the ribs over to one side like someone's grabbing that hand, and then reach them over to the other side. So this is a nice lateral movement. You're still keeping the butt tucked under, but we're not letting the legs shift weight right now. All right, so you're trying to keep this isolated into the upper part of your torso as much as possible. Lift and lengthen, lift and lengthen. Good. Excellent. Now we're going to take this same feeling, but we're going to go for a sweep and a sweep. Reaching. Now if you want to lift the back toe and let your heel pivot off the ground slightly. Good. This is a nice relaxed sweeping motion, but we are keeping the shoulders down and away from the ears. You might start to feel a little opening into that hip flexor coming in on the back leg. Ooh, one more time. Finish it strong. Good. Bring it to center. Feet coming a little bit closer. Soften the knees, round the spine, just like you're kind of chilling out and hanging here. Good. I want you to roll everything up. Lift the arms, scoop them behind you, round in. Lift it up, scoop the arms behind you and in. So try and find relatively neutral spine when you come up, in that I don't want to do a big full extension yet, right? So down, but we're really rounding and tucking as we sit down low. Good. And excellent. Now we're going to reach up high from behind us, scoop low, push the ceiling up through those palms, and then we're going to come all the way back up. So go down and up, and you can try and finish half that rotation at the top, opening the front of the shoulders. And we're keeping a relatively neutral spine here. So long tailbone, belly button is pulled in, and a little hinge at the waist. Good, almost there. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Shake that all out. Fantastic, guys. All right, so we're going to stand into the left leg. Make sure your weight is nice and centered and your hips stay even. Okay, I don't want that. Keep them nice and even. Reach your right toe in front of you. Flex the foot so the heel taps the ground. And then you're going to lift the right thigh up to about hip height and tap the heel back down. Lift and down. So we're trying to get your thigh bone right in line, parallel to the ground without letting the right hip go up. Yes. 4. Keep pressing tall through the base leg. 2 and 1. Now we're going to lift and hold. Keep it here. Keep it strong in the core. Extend the leg, kicking through the heel without letting the thigh bone lower, right? So we don't want to see that motion. So a little bit of a balance challenge here. Sometimes if your mat's really squishy, you might want to get on a little bit more of a solid surface. But we're doing a kick in and in. As straight as your leg can be, if this is the straightest you can get, like right there, that's fine. Hip flexor should be turning on. Lift through the lower abs. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Shake that out. We're going to do the other leg. So basing on the right foot, left leg comes in front of you. Stay up nice and tall. Engage the core. Flex your foot. Heel taps the ground. Lift up, parallel, and down. Again, we're keeping that left hip down. So we're trying not to let the left hip lift. So abs and a little bit of that hip flexor. Good. Lift. Do whatever you want to do. If you need to like touch a wall to balance, that's fine. If you need to have like hands in front of you, whatever works for you. Good. 2 and 1. Let's bring it up. Hold it here. Here comes that extension again. And in. Keep pressing tall through the leg you're standing on. Remember, it doesn't have to go straight. Ooh, we're not really super warm right now, but we are working through the movement of the extension. 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out. Excellent. Now, arms come out to the side. We're going to base on the left leg again. Right leg comes all the way in front. You're going to lift that knee, come all the way behind you, tap all the way in front, tap. So if your hip has to lift a little bit here, I'm not going to be mad about it. I just want to make sure we're not like doing wonky shit, right? This stays pretty stable and strong. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Other leg. Here we go. Find your balance. Toes are forward. Stay tall. Lift behind and lift lower. Ooh, that left hip is popping for me today. Yes. Again, if you need to touch a wall, touch a chair. Good. 3, 2, and last 1. Excellent. Whew. All right. You might have felt a little bit like right there in that standing leg. Yeah. So now we're going to go into a sun salutation variation. So step forward for me. Big inhale up. I want you to keep the tailbone long, but find a bit of a front extension here. And then bring the hands down. Now we're going to forward fold. I want the spine long. If you need to bend the knees to facilitate the palms to the ground, that's fine. Step your right leg back, way back, drop that hip. Good. Step the left leg back, find a plank. Drop the knees if you need to. Lower down through a reverse push-up, scoop forward and up, open into a cobra, and bring it down, scoop, lift into down dog. Good. Now we're going to step the right leg forward. The left leg comes to meet it. Round up to standing. Inhale, lift. Little front extension, scoop the pelvis forward. Down, right leg back this time. Left leg back, plank. Lower down, scoop up and forward. Good. Bring it down. Scoop up through the plank into your pike. Step your left leg forward, right leg forward, roll it to standing. Inhale, front extension, long, long spine here. Down, left leg back, right leg back, lower down, scoop up and forward. Bring it down, lift into down dog, right leg forward, left leg forward, round to standing. Inhale up, and exhale down, right leg back, left leg back. Lower down, scoop up. Good, bring it down, lift, pike. And left leg forward, right leg forward, roll it up, and shake it out. Good. All right, guys, so from here, we're gonna keep the spine long, sit into a deep squat, reach the arms right in front of you without letting the round and wheel. So we wanna get duck butt right here. Good. Now reach the palms down. I want you to look behind your legs. Good. Sit back, come back to that low squat. Pull the ribs in. Good. Hinge low, look behind your legs. Even if the legs don't go perfectly straight, I want you to lengthen them as much as you can. This is not a passive move. This is active, start to finish. Ooh, good. 2 more. Hold it. Take it low. And up. 1 more. Take it low. And up. Stand all the way up. Shake it out. Good. Okay, let's come all the way down to the ground. We're going to go into the start of a high lunge. So it's almost going to look like you're doing a split or something, but we're not going to do a split. So right leg forward, left leg back. This is a very stacked lunge. Shoulders over hips, hips over back knee. Okay, we're going to be focusing on the back hip flexor, a little bit of your psoas, and then waking up the front quad and glute. Okay, now stack those hips like we did standing, lengthen the tailbone. So you're scooping forward slightly, and you need to make sure you're keeping that long engagement up through the center. Take one hand in the front of your pelvis, one hand to the back of your pelvis. This will allow you to feel if your pelvis starts to go wonky. Good. Now I want you to shift the weight forward slightly, just to the point where that back hip flexor is like, hey, how you doing? Okay, keep that tall posture. Work for it here. Now, think of pulling the right heel back and dragging the left knee forward. Pull for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop that pull. Shake things out a little bit. Readjust. Okay, guys? Really important. No open hips, no arching in the back. All right? I don't care how flexible you are. If you do this correctly, you're going to be pretty stacked. All right, now see if those hips will slide forward just a little bit more. Fantastic. Now this time we're going to kick through the back shin like you want to stand up. So inhale, exhale, and push to that back shin. Push, wake up that quad for 4. Check in, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Move it around a little bit. Nice work, guys. All right, so one more time. Both legs stack and lift. Shift forward. Good. Now this time we're going to go right from the first exercise to the back exercise with no rest. So square up, lift, and squeeze the legs together. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. 3, 2, press into that back leg like you want to stand up tall. Push, 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 push. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work, guys. Now keep this leg in front. If you have blocks, go ahead and grab them. We're going to find a stacked hamstring stretch from a half kneel position. Now, important again, I want hips to stack over the back knee. This is not what we want to do. This is not what we want to do. We want this front leg straight. We want the hips squared up, and we want to keep that long neutral spine. None of the rounding either. So that's where these come into play. Use them. Even if you can touch the ground, use them. All right? Now square up the hips. Right hip pulls back, left hip pulls forward. Push up on the blocks to grow a little taller, and think like you're trying to lift over a little fence. That's your pelvis. Lift over, hinging into that hamstring stretch without rounding the spine. Your gaze is going to stay slightly forward and down. Good. Breathing through. Excellent. Now, I want you to push through that front heel, just like we did with the back leg a minute ago. So push, 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 and then see if you can push, squeeze, square, and hold. 3, 2, 1. Hands come down. Shift forward to a big lunge. Shift back, big hamstring stretch. One more time. Good. Stack it up again. So if you need to take that front leg further, you can, but hips need to square. Right hip back, left hip forward. Push and lift, long spine. Inhale, exhale, hinge up and over your pelvis. Keep flexing the bottom foot, really important. Good. Squeeze and push through the heel. Push, push, push. If you want to, try and find that balance while you're squeezing and pushing. Back legs working. 2, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Shake it out. Nice work, guys. All right. Let's torture the other side. So taking my left leg forward, right leg is back. Feet are hip width apart. I'm going to stack to begin with. So left hip back, right hip forward, making sure my hips aren't cockeyed, right? Lift to the center. Good. Grow tall. Align the pelvis. Inhale. As you exhale, begin to shift forward slightly just to that right hip flexor says, hey, happy Saturday. And then we're going to squeeze left heel back, right knee forward. Squeeze those thighs together for 4, 3, 2, and relax. Wiggle it just a little bit. Fantastic. All right, square it up again. Tuck and lift. Shift forward just a little. Make sure you're staying even. Good. Now we're going to push through the back leg like you want to stand up. Ready? And push, 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 push hard as you can for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very nice. Ooh. All right, so we're going to do both of those with no rest. Square, lift, tuck. Hips are even. Shift it forward. Right hip back, or left hip back, right hip forward. Inhale, exhale, and squeeze, 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 squeeze those thighs together as hard as you can. 4, 3, 2. Push through that back leg. Push up, 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 up for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Shake it all out. Keep your left leg in front. Go ahead and re-grab your blocks. All right. Stack your hips over the back knee. Lengthen out the front leg, flexing that foot. Now pull the left hip back, right hip forward. Push up, getting over your little pelvis fence, and long, tall hinge forward. You can take your blocks in front of you or keep them right here. I want a long spine. Keep squaring the hips. Good. Now push through that front heel, push up, keep squeezing with the back leg, and see if you can find your balance. I have a hard time on this side doing this one. Ooh, and relax. Shake it out, move it, wiggle it. Let's do that again. So square it up, pull it in, and push, 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 push. Keep everything in, find your balance. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Good work, guys. Woo. Shift both legs back in together. And I want you to push up on your blocks. And right here. I forgot to mention earlier, if you took some of my other classes, you've heard me say this, but if you don't have blocks, roll up some towels or something, grab some little books, use a chair. A lot of ways you can get creative with this. All right. Feeling pretty good, huh? Yeah. So we're going to go into stay kneeling, a kneeling camel pose next. Now we're going to do something a little weird and different today. You're going to use a block between the thighs. All right, so not down at the knees, but just floating above the ground. And it should keep your hips right about hip width, maybe a little bit wider, but definitely not wider than your shoulders, okay? So however your bones are structured, adjust that block, however you need to. Now the goal of having the block here is to keep our legs adducting together, closing together. So you want to keep that squeeze going the whole time. Lift up. Realign the torso like we just practiced. Long tailbone. Good. Ribs in, belly button back, shoulders down and back. Fantastic. Now we're going to go into the start of a camel stretch, really opening for a front extension here. Now remember, this is not a vertebrae crunch, okay? So we're going to keep it long. We want to make this side of our body as long as possible, okay? Now if you need a block to assist, you can use this. You can use a wall. You can use a chair. You don't need anything, that's fine. Wherever you're at, take your hands, make little high fives. You're going to scoop the thumbs out so the fingers are down right along your gluteus maximus, right? Good. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chest, squeeze the block together, push the hips forward, inhale, exhale, continue pushing the hips forward. Now, as a result of your hips pushing forward, you will start to see those shoulders extend back. But we want to make sure we're not sinking, so keep tall. That's what these hands on your hips are helping to assist. Good. Reach and push. Find your furthest range of motion right now. Breathe into it. It should be sustainable, but if you need to kind of tap out early, that's fine. And relax it in. Sit back, shake it out. So to re-emphasize, the hands on the glutes, they're helping you push to lift the chest. Block is keeping the legs adducting together, so we are using all the muscles in our legs, and we are pulling the hips forward. So just think like someone's grabbing you by the little pelvis bones and pulling you forward, okay? You're pushing that way. As a result, shoulders go back. This is actually key to a really good back bend, but open hip flexors are, of course, really important for your splits. So Let's align everything in. Take your little hands, thumbs out, fingers down, shoulders roll down and back. Pull the elbows together. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, begin to encourage those hips forward. Keep lifting and pushing through those glutes. Keep it active, keep it active. Now, a progression, if you want it, is only if you're comfortable, is to take your hands down the inside of your thighs, same position, and you can slide those hands down the thighs, continue pushing the hips forward, and keep your head in line with the rest of your spine. All right, as long as we're not getting a pinching sensation in the low back. If you get that pinching sensation, come up a little bit, and that's fine. That means you're collapsing through the upper body. And relax it up. Good work, guys. Woo, bring it out. Shake it out. Hands behind you, knees in front of you. Just kind of drop the hips side to side for now. That's fantastic. Hopefully you guys are getting a little bit of a sweat on. I am. Faux show. Ooh, we're doing on time. Fantastic. Still got you guys for a little bit longer. All right, shake things out. All right, so we've done a pretty good job getting like the psoas and hip flexors and the legs a little bit warm. I want to target the glutes a little bit. So to do that, we're going to come into a stacked pigeon pose. So stacked pigeon pose is everything is in line, okay? If you need to, you can always place a block, like supporting this back leg a little bit, right? If it's hard on your knee, that's fine. It'll actually just force you to stay more square. Otherwise, you have to work on it yourself. So I have my right leg forward, my left leg back. I'm on both shins, both feet out. Good. I'm going to use my blocks to keep me stacked up and over the hips. Okay. Now go ahead and pull the left hip forward, pull the right hip back a little bit. Good. Now from here, I want you to push up as much as you can, like you're being lifted, and relax it down. Squeeze in. Push, push, push. Use that front glute and down and up and down. Good. Now take the blocks in front of you slightly. Push onto the back toe to lengthen your leg. And then we're going to fold the leg over in front, flexing the front foot, coming into our pigeon. Now, before you set your hips on the ground, keep that back leg up. If you're unable to lower like this, to get your legs down, you're going to take a block and stick it, or a towel, under your front glute, okay? That way you stay square. I don't want to see this happening, okay? Really important to stay square. So once you're in position, then you can relax the back leg. Now, the more this heel is in line with the front knee, the deeper that stretch is going to be in that front hip and glute, but we want to make sure we're still swiveling the back hip forward. Now, from here, lift up and over, and then you can relax on your blocks. Good. Keep squeezing together and then relax. So it's going to be a little bit more of a static position now because we already worked that glute with those little stacked pigeon kind of squat things. And I like to add movement into my stretches as long as it's slow and controlled. Good. Now tuck the back toe again, lengthen the leg. And then you're going to squeeze that heel to your butt as hard as you can. Work the hamstring and down. Squeeze it in like you want to kick your butt. Down, squeeze. Are you staying square? Good. For 3, 2, and 1. Nice work, guys. Now roll onto your right hip. Remove the block if you have it for assistance so you can come into a seated position. Fantastical. Let's do the other side. Stacked pigeon first. Good. So make sure you're nice and lengthened. Go ahead and square up the hips. You can kind of use those blocks if you need to help you stay up. And then we're going to squeeze the legs together, pull up towards the ceiling, and then relax it down. Squeeze, keep driving that pelvis under and forward. So keeping that arch out of the lumbar spine as much as possible. Just keep it a natural curve. Up and down. One more. Squeeze that front glute and down. Fantastic. Tuck the back toe, lengthen and lift the back leg. We're going to lift, unfold the front leg. Good. And then from here, you're going to test that squareness. And then if you can get that back thigh on the ground, then you can sit down. If you need that block under the front hip to kind of support you. Please use it, right? No open. This is cheating. Don't do that. It does nothing good for you. Only teaches you to cheat in your splits. Good. All right. So then from here, we can relax forward. You could do a few squeezes and relaxes. Keep swiveling the back hip forward, front hip back, and pulling the belly button into the spine. Good. Ooh, nice work, y'all. All right, while we're here, let's go ahead and lengthen the back leg. Flex the back foot. We're going to kick our butt for 6. Nice and slow. 5, 4, little hamstring curls. 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Very good. All right, let's roll up and out of that guy. Woo, shake it out, guys. All right, quick break. Grab your water. Have both of your blocks handy. I'm sweating a little bit. I don't know about y'all. Okay, we're going to come to standing. So, yeah, kind of test things out, whittle it out, do a few little squats. Make sure those muscles are like, hey, I can still work. I didn't die. Good. A lot of flexibility training is actually rewiring your central nervous system, right? Kind of teaching your mind that, hey, these stretches, we're okay here. We're not going to die. Whew. All right, so bring these blocks in. I'm going to start with my left leg forward first, and I want to go into an open offset position. So both feet are flat, both toes are pointed forward. None of that, okay? Hips are squared. So only separate the feet as much as you can. If you're way back here and you find yourself like reclining back and that toe turning on the hip opening or the heel not on the ground, you've gone too far. All right. Now, lift the blocks. Again, we're going to focus on keeping the core tight and keeping the long spine. So we're not doing this. Yes. Shift the weight into the back heel, bend the back leg, sit the butt behind you, and flex the front toe. There's a standing hamstring stretch. Now we're going to float forward onto the front foot, push through the front leg, and lift that back toe just a little bit. And then sit it back down. Good. And up. You can start to lift the foot a little bit higher if you're comfortable with the balance and control of the front leg. Good. Soft and push. That back toe is always pointing to the ground. Don't do that, guys. Come on. Square it up right now. Good. Now, if you can get that heel up parallel to the ground or as close to parallel as you can, fantastic. We're going to hold it there like so. Good. Now square everything up. Keep pushing through the front leg. You're going to sit into the front leg like you're doing a squat. Legs, arms are just kind of assisting you and push back up. If this is too much, you can tuck the back toe to the ground and do it that way, but try and keep that back leg active. Use your core, use your glutes, use your quads. Good. 2 more. Up and last one. Up. Place that front foot down and sit back, standing hamstring position. All right, now we're going to I'm going to turn sideways just for this part. So we're still sitting back. You're going to take both of your blocks to the outside of the front foot, still keeping the spine long. Now I want you to pull that left hip back, pull the right hip forward like you're squeezing your thighs together. Good, continue flexing the front foot. If you can balance with one hand, I want you to use your other hand to drive gently your pinky toe towards the ground. Good. Now, if you can keep that going, you can roll to the complete outside of your foot. You'll kind of feel this in the side of your calf. And then you're going to get a big lift and swivel, continuing to squeeze the thighs together. Woo. Excellent. And slowly roll it back to center. We're not done with this leg yet. You can come kind of up, shake it out a little bit. All right. So if you felt pretty comfortable with all of those, you can take your blocks down one level. We're going to go back to the hamstring stretch, and then we're going to go up. And this time I want you to lift that leg as high as you can without unsquaring the hip. Don't cheat, okay? Sit it down and lift. One more. and lift. Now hold it here. Keep the foot flexed. I want you to pulse the heel up. Right hip is driving to the ground. Left leg is pushing and lifting. Toe pointed down. Don't cheat on me. And done. Relax back. Now we're going to go up, and if you want to, go as high as you can. You can open the hip a little bit. You can even bring your hands closer to the ground. Try and sustain and hold there. If you can bring the hands to the ground, great. You can add some pulses here. Ooh, and bring your legs down. Soften the knees. Shake them out. And we're going to slowly come to standing. Woo, good stuff. All right, other side. So offset the feet, keep them hip width apart. Find your forward hinge, long spine, core is tight. Sit into the back leg, hips back, flex the front leg. And then you could do just a little gentle lift. Nothing crazy yet, you know what's coming. Good. Now remember, left hip is driving to the ground, or the back hip if you're doing your other side. We're not letting the hips open. Good. Almost there. Excellent. Now hold that leg up. Keep the spine long. Little pulses up, 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 up for 4, 3, 2, and hold it. Sit into the front leg and up. Good. Sit into the front leg. Keep that hip squared and pulling down. Sit and down. 2. We got it. And 1. Fantastic. Leg comes back down. Shift back into that standing hamstring stretch. Square everything up. Lift up and over. Now take your blocks to the outside of the front leg. If you can start to encourage the pinky toe. There you go. To the ground. All right. If that's okay, you can tuck the whole outside of your foot to the ground. Otherwise, stay where you were. Wherever you're at, keep the long, long spine. Keep squeezing the thighs together, pulling the front hip back. You can lift up and over and give me a little bit of a hinge. Ooh. Excellent. All right, and bring it back to center. Let's shake things out a little bit. Ooh, relax the spine. All right, let's finish this guy off. Let's try and take the blocks a little bit lower or keep them where they were. We're going to shift into that standing hamstring and then lift as high as you can without unsquaring the hips. Down, lift, gentle movement. 1 more. Hold it up, toe down, hip square, pulse, 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 pulse for 4, 3, 2, 1. Set it down. Now you can open the hip as high as you can comfortably go to your standing stretch. Good. And keep wiggling things around. Keep moving that top leg. Ooh. And bring it down. Nice work, guys. All right, let's come on down to kneeling. Rest your blocks on your hands. Come to child's pose and just relax. And breathe here. And think about drooping the armpits open. I want you to push through your hands or arms, kind of around the spine, tuck the butt. And keep sitting the tailbone back. You should feel nice lengthening down the back of your spine. Good. Take that to one side, finding a side bend. Inhale, exhale, front armpit towards the ground. Hips and ribs pushing away from the armpit. And let's take that to the other side. Inhale, exhale. Fantastic. All right, so we're going to go into a little puppy pose. We're just kind of giving the legs a break for a second. So use your blocks or you can use your hands. An assistance for your puppy pose is to take a block right under your sternum to assist you keeping your chest up. I'll show you what that looks like. So this is our puppy pose. We want the hips stacked over. We're still keeping the core tight, but we're pressing the belly button and the ribs towards the ground. Now you can have your hands on your blocks. You can have your hands on the ground. You can also, like I said, take a block under your sternum if you have really tight back and shoulders, right? And this will allow you to enjoy the stretch without having to work as hard any way that you need that block. All right, so wherever you're at, find that puppy pose. Good. Now you can rest your forehead on the ground. You can look over to one side or over to the other, or you could look straight forward. Inhale, lift and round. Exhale, heavy chest, open the front of the body. Do that again. Tuck and round. And inhale, exhale, open the front of the body. Good work, guys. Let's do that one more time. Keep those hips stacked. And down. Very nice. And let's push and round it back and go into a little turtle's pose. Nice work, my friends. All right, we're gonna finish today with experimenting with our splits themselves. So you wanna kind of, ooh, there we go. I don't know if you guys could hear that. My YouTubers might have heard that on the mic. That's my back. I've been locked up all day, so that was great. So what we're gonna do is our front splits, but I want you guys to go through them in the order I give it to you, okay? So we're gonna go through a little bit of active work before we go down into our deepest front split. If you do this properly, you're gonna be really challenging your squared up splits. Your squared up splits are your active splits, right? If you've taken a stretch class, a flexibility class with me before, you know that I am all about teaching our muscles how to be extended and strong and safe rather than just forcing our body to go somewhere and letting the joints take over, okay? That's what sets you up for injury. And especially if you are hypermobile in the joints, you have to be really, really careful going into some of these split positions. If you're an aerialist or a pole dancer, that's why you can get really hurt, because you can rely on your joints and then the muscles connected to the joints don't know how to stay open. So if you go too far, you might not be able to get out, and then you might take your range of motion way too far and get hurt. So strong muscles, long muscles. That's what we're going for. All right, so I'm going to start with my left leg forward because that's my silly side. I always tell people to start with your silly side first. So we're going to start in a nice open lunge. That back hip is down, hanging heavy. If you want to kind of wiggle things out here, you can. Good. Now come into that position. I want you to stack your shoulders over your hips. So we're still working on squaring the hips. Tuck the back toe without letting your head bob up. So you're not pushing with the arms. You're going to lift the back leg by driving the heel behind you and lengthening the quad. So inhale, exhale, squeeze and push that leg behind you. Keep tucking the butt forward. Good. And down. So if this was happening, even if your leg doesn't leave the ground, like that's as far as you can go, that's fine. Okay. Work the active part of it. Inhale, exhale and press. Nice and long. And down. One more time. Press. Good. And down. Excellent. Wiggle the front foot forward. So you're coming into an extended lunge. Keep the shoulders over the hips. None of that, right? Same thing. Lengthen the back leg. And down. Lengthen. Good. And down. One more time. Lengthen. Ooh, and down. Wiggle the front foot forward a little bit more. All right, so this is how you kind of work into your front splits slowly, okay? Because you go into your extended lunge as far as you can go, and then we'll find our split from there. And if you can't do your split, then this is where you're going to be living at, yeah? So inhale, squeeze, tuck the back leg. Ooh. A lot of times when people work, drop it down, their front splits, they focus on the front hamstring more than the back leg. And a lot of times that back hip flexor is what's holding you back. Lengthen. Yeah. And down. All right. One more time if you got it in you. All right. Whoop. My little hip joint. Okay. I'm here. I'm with you. All right. Let's lengthen. Woo. Ooh, that back leg should be getting tired. Down, lengthen, down. All right, so now this time we're going to lengthen and you're going to hold the back leg up. So inhale, hold it up. Now flex the front foot, slide the leg forward as far as you can go. And then you can set the back leg on the ground. This is your squared split. Ooh, yeah. I'm way out of practice with my split since baby. And let's bring it back. Good work. Drop the hips forward. Just kind of relax things. Ooh, nice job. Now, if you want to explore that split one more time, you're welcome to, but for the sake of time, I'm going to do the other side. So you can always just go to your splits afterwards. So going to right leg forward, stacking it up, tuck the back leg, keep your level of gravity right here, like there's a ceiling right here. Don't go bumping your head into it. Lengthen and down, lengthen and down. One more. Yeah. And down. Take the leg forward a little bit. And here we go. Lengthen. And down, lengthen. Y'all got it. You'll know what's happening now. And lengthen, down. Good. Wiggle forward. This side's going to go faster because we know what we're doing. There we go. Lengthen. Keep driving the back hip forward. Down, lengthen, and down. Remember, those arms are just kind of keeping you from tipping over. Your legs are what's supporting you. And down. All right. Last guy. There we go. Lengthen. Good. And down. Now, if you want to, lengthen and hold. Flex the front foot. Slide forward until you roll off the back toe. Keep everything squared. Good. And there's your squared split. Excellent. If you're not sure what the difference is between a squared split and an open split, DM me and I'll talk about it. Yeah, bring it in. Nice work, you guys. Woo. All right. I'm gonna wiggle those hips out a little bit. Good. All right. And let's come into seated position. We ended up not needing our strap. I always do that. Come into a little butterfly stretch. Just kind of let your legs open the other way. Inhale, sit it tall. Exhale. Wiggle it out. So I hope you guys had fun today. Lots and lots of active work. If you're not used to doing a lot of active flexibility classes, you might be pretty sore tonight and especially tomorrow. So drink lots of water, keep your body moving gently, and don't do any crazy active flexibility work tomorrow, especially if it involves that area right there. Give it a little bit of a rest. All right, so wherever you're at, inhale, sit it up tall, shrug the shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, release. Do that one more time. Inhale. Shrug those shoulders up. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Release. Thank you guys for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed it. So again, this was my last free flexibility class for the time being. So I hope you've been having fun over the last couple of weeks. If you enjoyed this one, bookmark it, save it for later. You can always come back and do it later on, maybe like do it once a week. I have some other flex classes and mobility classes on my playlist, so both on Instagram and YouTube. So you can always go back to those and try some of those as well. And stay tuned for this week, some fun announcements coming. So if you guys have been enjoying these, which I hope you have, I got a way that you can get more stuff like this catered specifically to you. So stay tuned for it. If you like this video, leave a comment, share it, save it, tag a friend. Let them know that you liked it. Let me know what you liked about it, and DM me with any questions at all. I'm at polefitfox on most social media channels, so Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. So I'm more than happy to give you a quick answer to a question if you have it. Other than that, I appreciate you guys tuning in today, or if you're tuning in on the replay, thanks for saving and watching the replay. And I look forward to seeing you guys. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.